And that's what we're here. That's why we say, join our crusade, be a part of this movement with us to disrupt this old industry. So people ask me, Brian, well, how do you plan on disrupting a $120 trillion business? And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to leverage technology, right? Right there in the palm of our hand, we have access to more information than we ever have in the history of humankind. And so we're going to do what Uber, Airbnb, and Netflix have done. We're going to leverage technology to reach more people, to revolutionize an industry. You know, Uber now has the largest taxi service in America, but they don't own any cars. Airbnb now is the largest room booking service, but they don't own any properties. And Netflix now streams more entertainment into US households than all the cable companies combined. So what we want to do is leverage technology to get financial information into the households in America without having to have classrooms. Now, of course, we have great offices like the one I'm in tonight here in McKinney, Texas, but we want to reach and communicate with people where they are, where they listen. You know, studies show that the average American spends 6 to 8 hours a day on their handheld device, MacBook, PC, or on some kind of streaming service. 6 to 8 hours a day. So most of the people in our industry aren't speaking to the people there, right? They're just using billboards or commercial TV ads, right? Old school things. They're not shifting to what they need to be focused on. So that's why we're excited here at WealthWave to be able to focus on the marketplace. One of the things I like to speak to is at the end of 2021, I pulled the census numbers, and in that it showed there's 333 million people over the age of 18 or 18 and above in our country. Now, this doesn't take into account the people that we don't count, right? There's people that have moved into our firm, moved into our country, whether legally or illegally. We don't count all of them if they don't enter into the census. But don't they still need help? You know, I get their conversation there, but people, it's a 5 billion person problem, financial education. It affects over 5 billion people on the planet. So I'm not opposed to helping anybody that I speak to about these concepts and ideals. So right here in America, though, here's the ones that we can actually physically count through the census. The greatest in the silent generation right now, there's 22 million of them. Right now, they're trying to plan a way to pass their legacy, right? Their assets, their homes, their property, their gold, their silver, their asset accounts from them to their kids. Now, if they don't put it into an estate plan or a trust or protect it with life insurance of some kind, the death tax in America is upwards of 55%, meaning that half of what they saved could disappear in the form of taxes through probate if it isn't protected appropriately. Then you look at the boomers. Right now, every 7 seconds, a baby boomer turns 65 in our country and is retiring. They need help rolling their 401ks out of retirement into personal pension plans where they can get a guaranteed income stream off of their asset that they've saved during their working career. Generation X, 64 million, that's where I fall. Most of my colleagues in that demographic are behind drastically when it comes to saving for retirement. Then millennials and zillennials, it's the largest working demographic in America today. So that generation so far has been the best saving generation since the Great Depression. So every 6 seconds, a millennial turns 35 years old. And they're right in the heart of the need to start saving at this point in their careers to make sure they have enough money at retirement time. So why I show this is we are not a one-size-fits-all company. We have products and services to fit the needs of each one of those demographics. And they're all very different. They're all very unique, but they all need different conversations when it comes to money. And that's why we do what we do here at WealthWave, because no generation is saving enough. So far, if you look at across the board, they're all behind when it comes to saving for retirement. So right here, that shows you millennials, Gen Xers, baby boomers, see where you fall, see how you stack up right now. If you don't have a plan or you don't have a strategy, sit down with one of our agents and get a plan. It's free. We don't charge for what we do. We want to get people the information to start making solid, sound financial decisions for themselves. Our crusade's powered by innovation, right? We need to reach more people, which means we have to have a proven model for growth. We have to have a new standard of how we communicate. So every one of our independent contractors that comes on board to work with us has a digital marketing system that they can use to communicate with people on iPads, iPhones, Samsung devices, PCs, MacBooks. However people need to communicate, we can send videos or text messages or communicate through Facebook or Instagram. We are the cutting edge company in financial services that's delivering this. 98% of our industry does not communicate this way, and they're missing the boat. I equate it to that quote from Wayne Gretzky in the hockey world. He's a hockey Hall of Famer. He said, most people are skating to where the puck is. We're skating to where the puck is going. So that's what separates us from most of our industry, is that we know that technology is going to change the game. And being on the forefront of that is huge. Here's an example of why. People always ask me, well, Brian, how are you going to make a difference on the how money works front with education or on getting more people into the industry? And I said, hey, it's event funnels, right? Everything funnels around events nowadays. So you look at online webinars or in-person events, right? Whether it be going to a football game or going to a happy hour or a wine event, or if it's online, I got to generate awareness around a topic like retirement savings, life insurance awareness, disability, health insurance, college funding, 401k protection. All those things generate awareness, right? And what's funny is throughout your saving life, some things will be more important at different times of your savings career. You know, saving for kids didn't matter to me when I was 20. It didn't matter to me till I was 24. When I started having kids at 25, now saving for college for my kids started to be important. But until then, I wasn't paying attention to that conversation. So we generate awareness around a topic, which generates interest in our prospects. They want to jump on and evaluate the information, whether it's in person or on a webinar, make some commitments to look more deeply into what they need to fix, and then take action, step-by-step action process items to help them meet those financial goals that they have. That's what we do, is we create these funnels to allow not only our agents, but more importantly, our clients to get access to the information they need when they need it. One of our most popular programs right now is our Elements program. It's a 30-minute class that we can teach via Zoom 24 hours a day. So some of our reps teach it in the morning, some in the afternoon, some at night, some on the weekends, right? We can run these courses at any time to help meet people's needs. Stay-home moms, you know, working dads, whatever it might be, we can do any time of the day. So this allows us to reach more people without having to make them come to an office and sit down and hear the information. One of our most popular programs also is our Money Monday webinar series. We would teach different money concepts every Monday night to allow people to jump on when they could to get ahead when it comes to financial education. So as I go through this, really there's two things that stand in our way as a company. Number one is the lack of information. Now, when I say lack of information, I don't mean that they don't have access to it. I mean that they understand it, right? When my dad started in this industry back in 1979, there was no internet. There was no way for people to get access to financial information at the speed of light. They had to go to a class or had to go in front of a professor or sit down with a financial advisor to learn these things. Now there's so much information, right? You Google something and you get a whole bunch of it. You get the positives and the negatives to everything you could possibly Google, whether it's Walmart, Apple, is bacon good for me, right? Every time you Google that, there's a good and a bad. I tend to lean towards the good, right? Because I like bacon. But you see where I'm going with this. You can get positive and negatives to everything that you Google. So one of the things that we realize is financial literacy is needed. It's necessary. People have needed it throughout time, and it's never going to go away. But very few actually have access to this. So one of the things that we teach is financial literacy. So people always ask me, what does financial literacy really mean, Brian? And I'll have to back up and go, well, what is literacy in general? Literacy means I can read. Okay, so if you read the words on the screen, that means, okay, I can read retirement, I can read a thrift savings plan, I can read money market account. But financial literacy means, do I understand what retirement means? Meaning, when I tell my clients that the definition of retirement is you have to have an asset, whether a chunk of money or a business or gold or silver or something that can pay you your income stream where you no longer have to work. So I call it your financial independence number. What is that number you got to get to where $8,000 or $5,000 a month is spitting off of that asset to you for the rest of your life where you don't have to work anymore? That's the definition of retirement when it comes to financial literacy. So you may have a 401k at work, but do you know how it works? Do you know how it's going to be taxed? You know what it's invested in or why it's invested there? You know what the fees are inside of the plan? Are there better options outside of that plan? All those things come into play, and it might shock you to learn that the average person will need 6 to 8 of these things on the screen before they hit retirement time. So understanding how these works, but more importantly, how it works for you specifically is vital. And that's why we're so passionate about teaching the concepts. Because here is the difference, right? In 2020, there was a study done by the Council for Economic Education, and they found that only 21 out of 50 states required a personal finance course before a high school senior could graduate from high school, right? It could have been a 3-week to 6-week course, and that was it. And we're sending them onto college campuses or into the workforce with little to no education about how money works. So they get their job, they get their 401k paperwork, their health insurance paperwork, their benefit package, and they don't know what to do with it. I mean, maybe they have a parents at home that can teach them or help them. Otherwise, They don't know what to do. So they just pick random things and there you go. They don't know. Or they go into college campuses. The first thing they do is they go to a football game and they get a person saying, hey, you sign up for this credit card, we'll give you a free t-shirt today. And boom, now all of a sudden they're in debt. They don't understand how debt works. So it's needed more than ever before. So that's why we created the How Money Works book. It's a book that's really easy to read, easy to understand. It's based on simple concepts and ideas. So again, make sure that you get your copy of that. As a company, we're passionate about this. Hopefully you can tell how passionate we are about this, but we're developing an army of educators. We use army for a reason, right? It's the big guy against the little guy. It's the underserved that we need to go out there and help protect. Most people that are in our country, right, they just don't have access to this information when it comes to personalized information. So we're looking right now, we have about 10,000 licensed agents. We're trying to grow to 100,000 in the next 2 to 3 years. That's a very aggressive growth campaign, but we're serious about that. The second thing that stands in our way is the industry itself, right? It's an industry that's really built to not help, but they want to keep people confused, uneducated. They want to exploit them. And so some of the things I'm going to share with you, they don't want you to know. Don't get me wrong. Do we need banks and credit unions? Absolutely. Are there some good ones out there? Absolutely. But by and large, there's some things they don't want you to know. For instance, I'm going to show you the rules of the money game right here. The first rule, the rule of 72. It's just a mental math shortcut to teach us how long it takes for money to double at an interest rate. So if I go on here and I say, okay, the rule states this, you take an interest rate, divide that into the number 72, it will show you how long it takes for your money to double at that rate of return. So 1 goes into 72 times, which means it'll take 72 years for your money to double at 1%. 9 goes into 72 8 times. So every 8 years, your money will double for you. But let me use an example from our book, How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. In this example, there's a character named Zoe. Zoe is 19 years old. In the book, Zoe gets an inheritance of $10,000. And Zoe decides, you know what? Since I didn't have this money, I don't need access to this money. I'm going to go ahead and put it into an account that I'm not going to touch for 48 years. I'm going to come back and get it at retirement time at age 67. Okay, well, she goes to the bank and gets 1% on her money. Like I said, 1 goes into 72 times. So she comes back at age 67. That money only reaches 16,000 in the first column, the 1% column. It only gets to 16,000. It doesn't even double one time. But let's say Zoe goes out there and gets 6% return on her money. Well, to get 6% return, she probably has to go into real estate or stock market investing. And how well educated do you think Zoe is at 19 on stock market or real estate investing? We just said she probably didn't learn anything about it. Well, let's say somebody helps her. Well, 6 goes into 72 12 times. Every 12 years, Zoe's money doubles for her. So middle column, 10,000 goes to 20 to 40 to 80 to $160,000 now. Well, let's go to 12% return. Keeping in mind that there's products and services out there that have done 12% over the last 48 years on average. So it's just knowing where they are and how to find them and what to do to get in those vehicles. So 12 goes into 72 6 times. The far right column now, every 6 years, Zoe's money doubles for her. It goes 10,000 to 20 to 40 to 80 to 160 to 320, 640, 1.2, $2.5 million now at age 67. What's crazy, folks, is this will blow your mind. It's the same 19-year-old girl. It's the same $10,000. It's the same amount of time that she has the money saved. The biggest difference is the interest rate that she's earning on that money. It's a $2.5 million difference. So let me show you something. This is the current savings rates at banks right now. See if your bank is on this picture. This is how many years it's going to take for your money to double at your bank. Crazy, right? If you're with Bank of America, 2,400 years from now, your money's going to double. If you're with Capital One, good job. I think they actually raised their rate to 1.5. They're at 1.5. So instead of 72 and 36 years, your money will double for you one time. But Chase Bank, HSBC, Regions, SunTrust, U.S. Wells Fargo banks, 7,200 years from now, your money's going to double one time. With interest rates going up, these rates may come up because they're trying to keep pace with the cost of eggs and bread and gas, which they're not going to do it even at 1.5%. But that's what they're trying to do. But still, the staggering fact is there's $21 trillion in our country right now sitting in bank accounts earning less than 1%. On average, it's only doubling every 1,200 years. So if I could sit down with people and show them there's better places that get better rates of return, but still provide the guaranteed safety, would you think they would listen to us? The answer is unequivocally yes, right? There's no reason to stick money into an account that actually goes backwards to the cost of goods. Here's the flip side. Those same banks and credit unions take that money, lend it back out in the form of debt, mortgage debt, credit card debt, car, auto loan debt, student loan debt. The average credit card right now is 20%. 20 goes into 72, 3.6 times, meaning every 3.6 years, the bank's doubling their profits, but only doubling yours every 1,200 years. So they have figured out the rule of 72. We want our clients to figure that out. Borrow at lower rates of return, save at higher rates of return, and win the money game, because knowledge is power. But especially when it comes to money, because you're only going to make so much money during your working career. So knowing what to do with it is vital in today's age. Some of the things that I show is how products have changed over time. One of our most popular products right now, believe it or not, is a life insurance product. Now, if you would have come to me 15 years ago and said life insurance was going to take off like this, I would have said you're crazy. But lo and behold, they've created new products in our industry. And so life insurance provides guarantees, just like the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. We're just skipping the banks and going straight to the insurance companies. So in this is a brand new product called the Index Universal Life. I say brand new, but in our industry, it's been around for over 10 years. But that's new in our industry. But it's actually getting more notoriety now because of what it's been able to do and the history now that it's showing what types of returns it's done. So in this vehicle, we call it the Swiss Army knife of financial services. You can have life insurance protection, long-term care protection, critical illness, chronic illness, death benefit if you were to die too soon. But on the other side, the living side, you can have tax-free growth of the upside. You can get upside growth in the markets. You can have guaranteed income at retirement. You can have protection for your family if something were to happen to you, all in the same product with the same payment monthly. Unbelievable. On the right-hand side, on the top right-hand side, it shows how it does that. It stays between a floor and a cap. It says you can't go below this, and we'll cap you on the top side at this. And every carrier is different. Some carriers don't have a cap at all. And it uses indexes like the S&P 500 or the Euro index or the Hang Seng Chinese index. So it's an amazing product, right? And it's built for the changing market conditions. And so one of the things that we pride ourselves on our How Money Works platform is it has to meet all these different criteria. Be engaging, have bite-sized content that you'll learn as you go, be clear and simple and easy to understand, be up to date, right? Tony Robbins, Susie Orman, Dave Ramsey, they've had great runs, but their information is starting to get old and outdated. Be clear and honest and have step-by-step strategies that you can actually use and implement to meet your financial goals. We walk all of our clients through a 7 money milestones process. You can see the process: financial education, proper protection, emergency fund planning, debt management, cash flow, building wealth, and then protecting that wealth. And whether they're multimillionaires or tens of thousands of dollars in debt, we walk all of our clients through the same money milestones to make sure we check off the boxes of financial worries. We don't want any financial worries in your head. We help our clients go through a money discovery process. Many clients have never sat down with an advisor, and some have only sat down with one. So you want a second pair of eyeballs on your money and how it's working. So in this process, we sit down, we gather some information, we look at your short-term, mid-term, long-term financial goals, and we start putting some plans in place. We also look at how your assets are being taxed, how they will be taxed in the future, to make sure that we can outpace inflation and minimize taxation when it comes to your planning process. Our WealthWave platform that we've created here is high tech, high touch. We have lots of high level systems, and we have a lot of support behind what we do. We provide leadership and mentorship for those that want to work with us, but also for our clients. Again, my dad's been doing this 43 years. This is my 20th year. We've seen up markets and down markets and Democrats and Republicans and war and peace, and you name it, we've been through it. So we want to help our clients and our agents go through that without stepping on the landmines. We provide back office support, marketing and sales materials, product providers, technology platforms. As a matter of fact, our products are some of the best in the industry. We're actually a broker. So we don't manufacture and sell our own WealthWave products. What we've done is we've partnered with some great brokerages that offer all these all these product providers. So we don't, like I said, we believe there's no one size fits all, and there's strength in selection. For a consumer, it's always good to have the power of choice behind a buying decision. So if you look at this, you'll see some great brand names like American Funds, Nationwide, John Hancock, Franklin Templeton, Transamerica, Prudential, Jackson, Voya, some of the best in the industry. Matter of fact, here's the different lines of business that we do. We don't believe there's just one type of life insurance. There's all kinds, and it just depends on what you need for you at your situation. There's different types of annuities, mutual funds, active management strategies, 401k products, long-term care, disability, health insurance, college planning. And within that, we offer 300 different carriers, which means we can offer thousands of different products for you. So we represent our client to the marketplace, and we want to make sure we get the best products for them for what they need to meet those goals. So some of the things I'll show you is what you can do here. So without a license, people can come on board here. If you're looking at it from a business standpoint, you can refer people out to attorney networks for wills, trusts, medical power of attorneys, and they'll give you a referral fee for referring those clients to them. That's a big piece of a puzzle when it comes to financial planning, because they always forget to put those trusts in place or have the medical power of attorney on your spouse or on your adult kids. Number two is student debt and debt elimination programs. We can help refer those out, and you can get paid for that without a license. With a life and health insurance license, you can offer term insurance and the IUL and UL and whole life and final expense policies, also health insurance, index, immediate and fixed annuities, long-term care disability products. With your securities licenses through FINRA, you can offer mutual funds, college savings, VAs, 401k plans, active managed accounts. So with just knocking out a few professional licenses, you can actually offer up to 8 different lines of business for your clients, which is an amazing benefit to them, that you can offer all those tools and use those resources at their benefit. So I want to get into kind of how we get paid and what we've done here to help us grow this company across the United States and Canada. What we did was we tried to find a model that would grow quickly, right? And what we looked at was franchises and the real estate model. Both those models have actually done a great job expanding across North America. The franchise model for our industry doesn't work that well because we don't want to have a high barriers to entry. We want a low cost entry point, meaning we don't want people to get put off by having to put $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 into a franchise. We want them to be able to come on board here, get licensed, and start making money quickly and start helping more people. The bottom line is we have a crusade to help people. And so by making it easier for them to get licensed, it made it easier for them to get out there and help more people quickly. So we looked at and we pulled in the real estate model. The real estate model where there's a broker that could go out there and license and train realtors in his branch or her branch and brokerage to help them get out there, sell homes fast. And whenever they sold a home, the brokerage made a point or two on the sale of the home. So that's what we've done. We've taken real estate and we put that model into financial services, and we created one of the best growth models in the industry. On the left-hand side is an example of an old financial industry model, like Edward Jones or Raymond James or Wells Fargo Advisors. Great firms. I'm not knocking the firms, great people. I know a lot of people that work there, but the model itself won't let them grow big enough. Like you can't have 15 Edward Jones offices across the country, right? You can't open up Wells Fargo branches on your own. You have to belong and be an employee of Wells Fargo. So that limits the growth model of what those companies can do. So on the right-hand side with our WealthWave model, with the broker agent model, a broker can bring on board as many agents as they can help train and educate and get out there and to help families. Some have 1 or 2 or 3, some have 10 or 20, some have hundreds, some have thousands in their agencies here over the years. And so it's basically as big as you want to grow it, but that allows them to grow as big. And by the way, they can grow wherever they want. With the escalation of Zoom, now they can go to Canada or Puerto Rico or New York or Colorado or Denver or Florida or wherever they want to grow. It allows them and it expands their ability to grow. So I want to show you how we get paid. A lot of times people ask me, well, how do you get paid to do this? Well, here's an example. I'm using that life insurance product I showed you. Like I said, it's one of our most popular products right now, because with a working husband, working wife, or 2 working spouses, if they each save $5 a day from their paychecks, they save about $300 a month. And it provides them life insurance protection, long-term care, chronic, critical, terminal illness, but allows them to grow their money inside that vehicle tax-free, borrow it again tax-free. So an example here, if an agent comes on board and helps one client a month save $10 a day, that will pay the agent about $1,300. So many of those people are part-time with us. They work in their full-time jobs, but on the weekends they go help clients, and they can make an extra $1,300 a month by helping one client save $10 a day. At a director position, you help 2 clients a month, right? And that's more of a part-time scenario. They're making about almost $4,000 a month part-time. At our broker position, you're probably helping 4 clients a month, because now you're probably going full-time with us. You help 1 client every weekend, makes about $10,000 a month. So you can see, based on how much time and effort you want to put in here, is the difference between what you can make here. So this is just showing you our agent program, where you as a licensed agent can go out there and help families and make money by helping educate people on how money works. The second example I use for the agent side is helping someone roll over their assets from a 401k or an IRA into a personal pension plan using an index annuity platform. Again, provides a guaranteed floor, allows them some upside potential, zero fees. It's a pretty amazing product as well, what you can sell with a life insurance license. But this example, the agent helps one person roll over a $200,000 account. That agent will make about $3,500 one time. So it's pretty awesome. You can make really good income here by helping people because, like I said, all those carriers I mentioned don't have a sales force. They need people like myself that get licensed, that learn these vehicles and help educate, families and individuals on how these products work. And so they're going to pay me to do that because they don't have any other way to get that information out to these people. So at our director position, you help 2 clients roll over those accounts a month. That's about $10,000. At our brokerage contract, if you help 2 clients, I kept it down to 2 clients a month. You make about $13,000. So you can make upwards of 30 to 100 and something $1,000 a year just by helping roll 401ks into retirement plans. And that's just, like I said, you with a professional license doing that by yourself if you want to. Now on the brokerage side, this is you're like, okay, Brian, I love that, but I'd also like the ability to have residual income where I can have people out there working that every time they sell something, I make a little bit of money, right? It's kind of like, would you want to work for Merrill Lynch or be Merrill Lynch, right? Merrill Lynch, every time one of their Merrill Lynch agents sells something, Merrill Lynch makes some money. So that's what I wanted. I wanted, if I go out there and train some folks, when they sell something, I want to make a little bit of the money, just like a broker does in real estate. So on our brokerage side, this shows you an agency. If that agency helps 10 clients a month. Now the agency could be 3 people, it could be 10 people, it could be 100 people, but as long as they help 10 families a month, they'll make that brokerage will make $11,000 on their broker spread, just on whatever those agents sell. They'll make about $11,000 a month. So that allows you kind of to gauge what they can make, right? You can make a 6-figure income here if you decide to go out there and license and train some people and they go help some families. On the bottom side, if the broker is helping people roll over those 401ks and they help 4 clients a month roll over 401ks, that's $12,000 to the brokerage. So again, if you combine those two and you have a brokerage that's kind of working on both sides of that front, you can make a couple $100,000 a year here with us. And that's just helping 10 families. Some of these agencies can help 30, 40, 50 clients a month, and you start to see some big numbers. But I don't want to blow you away, right? And I wanted to kind of show you some examples of different products that we use. So as I wrap this up, and again, if you have some more compensation questions, we also have assets and mutual funds, and I can explain how we get paid on all those different vehicles. Those are just the ones I wanted to show that you can do with a life license. But as I close out, the average age of an agent right now in our industry is 59 years old. There's only 400,000 life insurance agents, 300,000 financial advisors licensed in the country. Compare that to 2 million real estate agents in America right now. Our industry can grow almost 3 to 4 times its size and start to do the job it needs to do. Like I mentioned earlier, we're losing 6,000 to 10,000 every year because they're aging out of the industry and they're retiring. I broke it down basically on the U.S. Department of Labor statistics for Texas, because that's where I am. I know we have people all over the country on here, but if you look at that, there's 32,000 life insurance agents in Texas compared to 134,000 realtors, and they're serving 28 million people. So this is the same in every state, by the way. I broke it down by the big cities in Texas, 10,000 agents in Dallas, Fort Worth to serve 7.5 million people. You can see how there's a drastic need for more licensed and trained agents to make a difference out there. So it's no different across the board. Also, here's what it costs to get started. Again, we're trying to be as upfront as we possibly can. And it breaks it down by the states that are kind of a good cross section of our country. But that's it for your first professional life and health insurance license. That's the cost all in, by the way. So that's pretty affordable. Again, we didn't want a franchise model. We wanted the ability to lower barriers to entry, to let people get into the industry. And basically with your first sale, you should be profitable. So it allows you to get into American business and be profitable day one. We're in all 50 states. We're in Puerto Rico. We're in all the provinces of Canada. Here's some of the reasons why I started working with the company. I worked corporate America for almost 8 years. And I didn't want a boss anymore. I didn't want salary caps. I didn't want work hours. I didn't want to be the threat of always being laid off when things got tight for the company. And I didn't want limits on where I could work, right? I want to be able to work on vacation. I want to work from a mountaintop. I want to work at the beach, from home, at my office. I just wanted freedom to do what I wanted to do with my day. And this company has allowed me to do that. So in closing, there's 3 ways you can work with us. Number 1 is become a client. If you don't have a financial strategy or know your financial independence number, what we do is free. Sit down with us, do the money discovery process, and get a plan in place for your short, mid, and long-term financial goals. Step 2 is start with us part-time. Get your licenses, start helping some families, see how you feel, see if you enjoy making a difference, and see how the crusade really works. Start to build a successful team around you of men and women that are as passionate about what we do as you might be. And then the last step is go full-time. Once you make more money here than you do at your job, then quit your job and go full-time. We'll actually celebrate with you with a Fire Your Boss party, and we'll have a great time as you do that transition. But please take a shot with us. One of the things that I wanted to show people as we rounded out was our goal to get to 100,000 licensed agents. That's our goal. On the right-hand side, it shows startups. From 2020 to now, only 10% of startups have been people under the age of 30. Most startups are people between the ages of 30 and 59 years old. 75% of all startups are ages 30 to 59. So if that's you and you want a chance to maybe start your own business and start a career, a side career that could turn into a full-time career where you could do it and control your time and freedom, this is it. Let me exit back out of this. Okay, so I talked as fast as I could to get the information out to everybody. So hopefully you took some notes. I won't be able to do a Q&A tonight, but please get with who invited you tonight. Set up a return appointment with me. Let's answer your questions. I'd be happy to do so. Or one of our local brokers would be more than happy to do that. Make sure you get your How Money Works book. Set up your money discovery process with the agent that invited you. And we're excited to help you. Thank you so much for being on tonight. Hopefully you learned some things and see how passionate we are about helping families. But stay safe, stay healthy. God bless everybody. Have a great night. Hopefully we get to see you real soon. Goodbye, everybody.